So I'm getting to the tail end of all the wiring, and I just noticed I really hate this radio being in the glove box. For one, it takes up a bunch of usable space in the glove box, and then it's behind this door. You have to open it every time you want to change anything on your settings, your song you're on, whatnot. So I'm going to try to relocate it, and I really don't even like the way the wirings run from this all the way down underneath and then over behind the helm where the amplifier and everything else are. So I'm gonna try to see if I can move it somewhere else. I really need to redo this wiring at some point anyway. The factory wiring is terrible, and then whoever the last owner was did a real hack job on running the RCA and the power to this thing, and it's just not really done right. So I'm gonna see if I can move it somewhere else. Let's see. So I unscrewed it. Pretty easy to disconnect these fusion head units, and that's the harnesses that plug into it. And I'm looking around trying to see where all I have room. I could put it downward facing there. It'd be hard to see and get to. I was thinking to cut a hole somewhere in the fiberglass up here, but there's not really in a good spot to put it. And if it's facing up right here in the middle, it might be hard to see it if there's too much glare from the sun. There's that corner over there, which should have enough depth because this thing's not very deep, as you can see. It's kind of down low, hard to get to, so I'm not too happy about that spot. I could put it on this kitchen bar top area somewhere facing downwards. I don't think I can put it that way into the side of the hole. There's not enough depth there, but I could potentially make a hole, put it here. I don't know, not terribly impressed with that idea. I think where might make the most sense is right here. As we're looking at the steering wheel area, the dash, the console is right, I was thinking here, but there's way too many wires behind that spot because of all these switches. So right up here on top of my Garmin and right next to the switches for the trim tabs and everything in the back, I think that might work out pretty well. I'm going to remove this trim plate, which is just there to get it to fit in a DIN slot. The actual radio is this piece, not this piece. So I'm going to remove this, see what sort of size I need as far as the footprint to fit here. We've got the DIN plate removed, so all we've got left is the actual head unit itself. It's pretty small and compact, as you can see. Now if I put it here, put it all the way up against that part, got plenty of room to spare here. We'll probably pull it out a little bit, give it a little bit of space. We'll check this side. We'll put it all against there. We have room. We'll pull it out a little bit. I think we'll be okay. And that's just the face plate. The actual hole is just this section. So I need to cut a hole big enough for this to fit. And then it'll be right here. I think I'm pretty happy with that.
So first you want to draw your template and cut with a knife around what your outline would look like. That way your saw doesn't rip up the vinyl or the leather. Then you want to use a jigsaw to cut the hole. Make sure you take your time. Then test fit the radio into the slot. See if you need to make any adjustments. If you do, now is the time to do it. Make sure it fits. The next thing you want to do is mark the 4 holes for the screws and find the correct size drill bit for the screws you'll be using. Make sure to use stainless steel screws and hardware since this is a marine application and you want to avoid rust. And then once you get the screws installed, confirm everything fits. And the next thing you want to do is place the side covers on and snap them in.
Really happy with how it looks. Let me do a wide angle here. There we go. Really nice and clean. Instead of putting it on this side like I was originally intending to do, I went ahead and put it over to the side right next to my switches for the trim tabs. That way it's all over to one side and you don't have a bunch of black randomly scattered across the dash. I really like how this turned out. As you're standing here at the helm, if you're driving, very easy to access it, push whatever options you want, turn the volume. And then in addition to that, for everybody else on the boat, I've got one remote here on the passenger side, one remote here, in the wet bar area, and then we've got one remote back there at the swim platform as well. So there's remotes everywhere. They're all connected via the low power Bluetooth, battery operated, no wires to run. I've got that there. And the next thing I'm gonna do is put my Garmin UHD 73CV back in, and I'm going to connect the NMEA 2000 network bus between the Fusion and the Garmin unit. I don't know what kind of functionality is there on the Garmin, what you can actually do with the Fusion, but I'm going to go ahead and connect it since it's all here right next to each other. I've got all the cables and everything ready to go from before when I purchased them. I'm going to install them, see how it works, and hopefully it gives us some additional control over the Fusion head unit. I don't know. We'll see.